Welcome to the next project. It is again time to assemble a guitar kit, and today we have an SG style Harley Benton guitar kit, and we're going to take a look at the good, bad, and the ugly with this kit. And this kit was not perfect. This is not a plug and play kind of ordeal. It looked like it would have been. When I pulled it out of the box, I was like, this would be really easy. It'll just go right together. Well, it went together, but it was unplayable. So we're going to take a look at that, a couple of the issues, and with any guitar kit, keep in mind that you may get a great kit or you might get a garbage kit. The more you spend on a kit, hopefully the better quality kit you'll get. And for this is an $80 guitar kit plus shipping. So what can you expect for $80? Well, if you're willing to put a little bit of work into it, you can get a guitar that plays, kind of. But right out of the box, this one was flawed. And we're going to take a look at that as we start the next project.
So what's in the box? Well, hopefully everything we will need to put this kit together. Well, that seems pretty obvious. At first glance, everything did look pretty good. The body looked good, the neck looked good. The frets were pretty sharp on the edges. And that back control cover plate, I was really surprised it has some kind of a metallic-like sticker on it when the rest of the control cavity has nothing in it. It's a nice touch. Everything else seemed pretty good. The pickups appear to be wax potted, a little sloppy soldering on the back of one of them, but otherwise everything else looked pretty good. Now it's time to start putting it together, and I do take a few liberties as far as the order in which I do things. I started out following instructions. I worked on installing the tuners first, and here I'm creating threaded holes for the tuners. And personally, I think it's a good idea to pre-thread the holes before you go ahead and try and torque down on a tuner. But everybody does their own thing. And here we're looking at the crappy tuners that come with the kit. Some people love the Harley Benton supplied tuners. I have never been a fan. And these ones really show that they're as affordable as the company can probably find. But we put it all together and give it a little bit of tightening. And gosh, look at this. That doesn't look good. It'll work, but it doesn't look good. Everybody does things their own way, and the instructions tell you just to put the electronics in and screw it together, bolt it together, plug it together, and enjoy your new guitar. Well, I think it's a good idea to bench test things before you take the time to put it in the guitar. And since this is all plug and play, it's pretty easy to plug together. This way you can verify that which way the switch throws will control which pickup. You can make sure all the pots work, and on this wiring setup, if you turn one of the volumes all the way down, it completely kills all sound, so you have to be aware of that. If you do get one of these kits and one of the volume pots is turned to zero, you'll get no sound at all. Just to let you know. Otherwise, it went well, and we're ready to stuff everything into the body. And we're looking at the little bitty hole that's drilled through for the ground lead to run to the stop tail piece. Starting to put all the pieces in, and here I realize that the threads on the switch aren't quite long enough to put the switch in if you use that fancy rhythm and lead black plastic decorative washer. So I tossed it to the side and just wrenched the nut down right onto the body for now. We're going hot rod, stripped down, ready to go. Checking a few of the holes are a little questionable in their drilling. Close enough just to jam a screw in there, and we'll be plugging it in soon. Plenty of lead wire on the pickups. You have about an extra foot of wire on both of them. So you have to find a place to stuff it. Fortunately, the control cavity is pretty big. And there's that fancy control cover plate with a metallic, I'll call it a shielding sticker on the back of it. Now I'm putting on the fancy front scratch plate, which actually is nicely made. And all the drill holes are in the right place and they're all the right size. And I just zip the screws in. And we're ready to install the stop tailpiece studs. Push them in by hand a little bit and finish them off with a sledgehammer there. Just smash them right into the body. No, really, I did that pretty gently. And same with the bridge. First with the bridge on, just to make sure everything's going in straight and square. Finished it off without the bridge, just so I don't damage the bridge. And we're on to the next pain in the neck. Really doesn't matter how you sugarcoat this, it still is pretty sour. The little metal plate is actually made pretty nicely, good chrome plating on it, but the screw holes in the neck and the body don't line up with the neck plate. My solution is just to smear some soap on the threads of the screws and just blast it right through anyway. This guitar is going to come apart and get modified, so I'm just getting it together so we can see if it actually works. Time for stringing it up. For the most part, this goes as good as stringing up a guitar goes. But we have to wait for what happens in just a moment. Setting the bridge height to get a little bit of action on the strings. And what the hell's going on here? Well, this came with a 0 fret. It's where I would like the first fret to be, but that didn't work out that way. So I gently persuaded the nut off of there and realized that the truss rod was kind of poorly installed, and they just ended up gluing the nut right on top of it. Surprisingly though, the nut was still set too low, so I did a shade tree mechanic thing and added some spacers, basically made out of tape, to the bottom of the nut, just to jack it up high enough to give me string clearance over the frets, and also get the nut high enough off of the end of the truss rod, so when you tighten the truss rod, it doesn't actually pop the nut off. Possibly the biggest surprise with this kit is it came with tactical fretwire pre-installed. If you plan on doing some nice vibrato work or bending a note, you might want to use a different guitar.
So what's my takeaway with this guitar kit? Well, if you've been watching, you've seen that it's pretty bad. There's a number of things wrong with the neck, and if the neck is a fail, really the whole kit is a fail. That I can think of right offhand, there's 4 things with the neck. The tuners are crappy. The nut was my initial thing that I noticed that I thought was screwed up, thinking the nut slot was cut too deep, and it is. But as I popped the nut off, I realized the truss rod is an issue and it's poorly installed. So the nut was teetering on that and just glued in place, so that's a negative. Then there's a great fret wire, worst thing I've ever seen. Really, really rough, and the fret ends are rough too, very sharp. Moving on from there, now that we've just determined that the neck is a fail, which means the kit is a fail, because if you don't have a good guitar neck, you really don't have a good guitar. Then there was where the neck mounted to the body, and the manufacturer dropped the ball on that. They couldn't set up a template or get anybody to drill 4 holes that match the neck plate. Bad. One other thing that's kind of a negative would be the depth of the cavity control area, that they didn't route it quite deep enough. They left the top a little thick, and overall it still worked, but the 3-way switch comes with a little poker chip rhythm and lead decorative washer, and I was not able to put that on the guitar because the thickness of the top is too great and the threads on the 3-way switch weren't long enough. So I had to leave the little decorative washer off and just put the nut on. It worked, but if you get the parts in the kit, you should be able to use the parts in the kit, so it's a fail. Overall, would I buy this kit again if I knew it was going to have these problems? Nope, not at all. I would spend the money to buy the same guitar pre-assembled. I think last time I looked, it was like $2 difference between buying the kit and buying the guitar that's got a coat of paint on it and ready to go. It's strung up, it's ready to go. You would hope that the assembled guitar would have actually gone through some kind of quality control possibly, and maybe some of the issues that are in the kit that I have would have been rejected in quality control. So anyway, I would not recommend this kit, at least not the one that I got. But with any kit, you can get a good one or you can get a bad one. It's luck of the draw, roll of the dice. It's a crapshoot. And this one's crap. Here's a warning for you. I'm not a guitarist, but we're going to give it some sound samples or some noise samples, perhaps, as we continue the next project.